Hey guys, let's talk about public transportation across Houston. Houston, Texas. Great city, great city. And large as well, I can tell you. So there's about 2.3 million people in Houston. That's a lot of people, 2.3 million. Now imagine if everyone there had to get on a bus, so get in their cars and get on the road and drive, i.e. no public transport. There'll be a gridlock in the whole city. Okay, that's going to bring the city to its knees. That's why public transport is important. You need public transport to move from A to B. Lots and lots and lots of people maximize the space there. So let's talk about the best ways on how to save money. A lot of channels will talk about, how to, go from A to B, more from a touristy point of view. I want to talk about money. I want to talk about finance. I want to talk about how to save money and the best way to move from A to B across a city like Houston. Who am I? I'm the CEO of Orukka. So Orukka, wear my ring here. Orukka is a smart payment ring. We allow people tap to pay. All right. So if you want to make a payment for trains, for transport, for buses, for anything, for metro, for coffee, for restaurants, going for a run, just tap to pay. That's easy. Okay. Orukka.com. And the idea just came up, I think, from one of my mates who came through to the UK, lived in the UK, and he came over to visit, and he came out of a train station. Had his phone with him, and then a thief tried to grab his phone and wallet and stabbed him. Okay, so that was traumatic for us, traumatic for him. And since then, I've sort of just taken it to myself. I wanted to create an app that would allow someone or anyone not to rely on their phone's wallet anymore. So you could just go out with your wallet on your phone in your hands, you bank on your fingers, and you can tap to wherever you. So I wanted to do something that's good. Let me see, and come up the side. One of the things we did with our customers then, a lot of our customers have come to us and said, hey, I love it because I use it for transport every time. So I said, wait a minute, that's true. I should do something around this for the city of Houston. Okay, so Houston, how do you go from A to B? What's the best way? What's the most cost-effective way? No one addresses that. If you look at it, there are about five ways of making payments. Okay, you can use anywhere, cash, card, everything. Okay, I want to make sure we have, at least a channel that you can come to that gives you the best way, pros and cons of each. Put it together, and then you can decide for yourself how best to go from A to B with public transport in Houston, either as a visitor, okay, or as anyone who's actually lives in the city. In terms of transportation, I think again, Houston has been a big city. From 1914, they had the Houston Ship Channel. That came up and made it just a global hub in terms of shipping, in terms of export and import. And then, obviously a lot of people moved into that city. If you look at that, then that just gave it very, very good infrastructure in terms of transportation. Okay, and the city has done well to maintain it. Maybe they can do better, but they've done well to maintain it. So right now, I think you've got your buses, you've got your, the metro rail. There's the park and ride buses that you can do. There's the curb to curb, which just means you can get like an on-demand service as well. So there's a lot there in terms of, how to move from A to B across the city. In terms of payment, cash, they say cash is king, so I'll start with cash. You can make payment with cash in the public transport. Okay, so that's easy. You go in, make sure you have the exact change. If you don't, get the change before you get on, because the buses don't hold change. And for good reason, okay, because of cash. Cash management is key. You have to make sure you have enough change in the bus to pay people. You also have to make sure as well that you've got enough security, because at night, the drivers then drive around with so much money. So they could get robbed. And that was why they reduced it and made sure that you have to bring the exact change so buses are not driving around as basically safes, right? You don't want that. So if you have cash and you're maybe nervous about the government, okay, you want to stay hidden if possible for some reason, or if for some reason you also don't have a bank account, again, you can open a bank account these days, very easy. I've been a banker all my life. Fintechs are now up. So we're a fintech in the sense that you can do everything online. You don't need to come to our office, don't need to go to offices. You can open a bank account. But if for some reason you don't have a bank account, you can just pay with cash and still get on the road. So that's why transportation is cool there. The downside with cash, the most obvious reason is you don't want to get robbed. So if you're going out with a full day and you have to buy coffee, you have to buy everything, you're carrying around $50, $100, $200 in cash. You get on the public transport or the subway, or the rail, anything light rail, for instance, it's possible at night that you get up. Okay, so, and if that goes, there's no way you can't claim against that. So that's important. You want to make sure you carry as least cash as possible because it's dangerous. The other point is where you don't get discounts. So if you travel all through and you go from a bus to a light rail, from light rail to curb, everything you're paying, if you keep paying around like that, you have no limits. Okay. So that would mean that you get charged every time throughout the course of the day. So that's where you don't get with cash. The better form would be to get a card. Okay. So we have in Houston, we've got what's called the Metro Q fare card. The Metro Q, again, it's going to cost you $125 to ride on a ride per ride. You get discount fare. So if you're over 65, you get up to 60 cents in the dollar. So 60 cents basically is what you pay if you're over 65, which is a discount that you can get only if you have the card. Okay, so that's key. How much is the card? It's free. So the Metro Q is free. You can order the card online as long as you register, right? So the registration, I think, is what you need to understand. With cash, you don't need to register. However, if you go with the Metro Q, you need to have your registration details there and you get the card for free. So your data for cash, if you want to do that. But I think the important thing to note is, one, if you have that, then you get discounts, okay, which is free. And you also then get limits, right? So you can't just keep charging. For instance, you get 20 train rides. It's all true. You're not going to be charged 20 times. There's a limit or a cap on how much you get charged. So that is what you get if you go with the Metro Q. So that's an advantage which I would say you go for. The other side, on the disadvantage there, obviously, is the registration. Okay, you're giving away your personal information. That's a problem. On the other hand, as well, if you also don't register the card and the card gets stolen, everything you have on that Metro Q is gone. Okay, so that's one thing to make sure. The downside as well with the Metro Q card, okay, as opposed to your cash, is if you have a $20, maybe you don't spend everything. You can go out and buy food if you wanted to. Metro Q, if you load everything there, you have to use it. You can't take your Metro Q out and go to Starbucks to buy coffee. Yeah, it's not going to be accepted. It's an internal closed loop. It only works for transportation. That's the downside of that. To avoid that card, better, in my opinion, a better way to do is to use your bank card. So most, trains, I've talked about the light rail, the buses as well, would accept I've got a card here, would accept a card, right? Your bank card, as long as it has this mark on it. It's called the wireless symbol, right? I'll just put it here. As long as it has this on it, okay, which is basically a reverse of your Wi-Fi. If you have that, then you can just tap with your card. You have to bring out the card, okay? You have to bring out the card to tap on the turnstile. So you tap on it, you go in. On the way out, you tap out as well. That's important. But that's straightforward because this is your bank, okay? So it works with your bank. It works with most banks, most cards, as long as they have that symbol on it. If you tap, you have the benefits as well. You also get the benefit. You might not get the discounts. That's the downside. Downside of this is you don't get the discounts. But the positive side of this is your bank. There's nothing extra to do. With the card, with the Metro Q, you'll have to make sure you have sufficient balance. If you don't have sufficient balance, you could get stuck wherever you are. And then you have to go look for the nearest kiosk or the nearest, what do you call it? The nearest station to make sure you top up your card with cash or card. If you have a bank card, there's no need to go through that, right? So as long as you have sufficient funds in the bank, you can keep tapping, okay? So that's one thing where this is better than getting a Metro Q card, apart from the discount. But then if you're in a town for, a day or two, you don't really need to go get a Metro Q card. That's where the flexibility of your bank comes in. Cost and downside. Everything has a downside. So the downside with this then is what's called a clash of cards. So your card can clash if you go in with your wallet and just touch the machine. If you touch the machine doesn't know which one to charge. So in this case, you see I've got 6 cards here. Okay, these 6 cards, if I tap it like this, the machine doesn't know which one to charge. So it could charge you this or that or the furthest one out. No, not sure. Depends on which network goes in first. That's something to watch out for. Yeah, you have to make sure that you bring out the one card you want to use. And you have to remember the card. I've done that a lot where I go into the bus or the rail and I tap in with one card and I go out and I tap with another card. I get charged. Or you want to get a discount for the cost of the day, you make sure you tap with one card only. If you tap with 2 cards, you get charged as 2 different cards. That's a problem. That's something to watch out for. So with this is very dangerous when you're using your bank card. Make sure, number one, you're tapping with the same card and you bring it out and tap it and you remember that one card. Okay, otherwise you get charged for more. The other side, which I mentioned at the start of the video, is basically the risk associated with theft. Because look at this now, I've got 12 cards in here. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, it's really cool. This small wallet. Well, listen, if you carry this around at the train station, wherever, the driving license, a lot of things are on here. So this could get stolen, and if it gets stolen, it's gone. Yeah, that's it. You have to call each card. So this, I've got 12 cards. Imagine this gets stolen. I'll have to call 12 different cards, 12 different banks, and make sure they're blocked. That's a pain. That's a nightmare. Most people go around with 2 or 3 these days and put it behind their phone. To me, it's the same risk, right? Because number one, if your phone gets stolen, your wallet gets stolen, you're gone. Yeah, they're not gone, but it's an inconvenience, huge inconvenience. Let's not talk about the trauma associated with that as well. So that's something to watch out for, where I wouldn't recommend going around with this. This is chunky enough. If I put this in my pocket, people already see it from a distance. There's something called scheming as well. So scheming is where someone goes in with a POS terminal, okay, and they take it near your card and they charge you 10 to 20 pounds each time they tap. And they tap in and out. For a train, that's easy to do because you only need about 4 millimeters of gap between you. So someone could be standing beside you and actually tapping a few dollars from you every time. And it's so minor that you don't realize it. So I wouldn't recommend this if you can avoid it. I'd say you go with your phone. So your phone is another way as well where most people actually use. So again, I've got 12 cards here. I'm just going to bring out my phone if I can reach out to it. Here again. So I've got a phone here. In this case, this can be a digital wallet. That means that you can have a bank card stored on your phone. If you do that, you activate what's called a digital wallet, which would allow you then have any cards you have touched here. When you touch it, it gets charged. That's an easier way because you don't have to walk around with your wallet. You don't have to walk around with all your driving license and all the important information you have in the wallet because you have everything on your phone. Again, these days, most of us do a lot, and I'm sure you're watching this on your phone as well. So most people will live our lives on our phone these days. So it's handy to use. There's a downside with this, right? The downside is quite obvious. My battery is running low already. I'm sure your battery is the same just watching this. Our phones don't last 24 hours anymore. It's just gone because of all the data on it. Also all the information, all the things you do with it. So I wouldn't recommend using this for transportation, okay? No matter how easy it seems to be, right? Number one is the Apple Pay. You need to make sure it's one card, right? Because you can go into Apple Pay nowadays, you can store 6 or 7 cards on your Apple Pay or your Google Pay. If you do that, when you get charged, make sure it's the right card. That's an inconvenience. The other inconvenience is where is the battery. So if you go in and then, your battery runs out by night, you're stuck wherever you are, So be careful with that. I wouldn't recommend using a phone. And also my mate as well in Ireland, in the UK, who got, stabbed, he was looking at his phone. So most people, when they come out of a train station, after they've paid, the next thing is they look out for notifications. So if you're stuck here looking down on your phone, you're at risk because robbers, thieves, people can look at you and decide what they're going to do with you. You're vulnerable at that point. Well, keep away from your screen where possible. I'm against this as well, by the way, sorry. What I prefer, what I recommend, okay, and clearly I'm using it myself, so what I recommend is a ring, right? So this is the next choice as well. So you can go in and actually order a ring, one of our rings from Orukka, orukka.com. If you look at that, that's skinny and it has no battery. So that means with these, you don't need to so you see, there you go. So you don't need to charge these things. You don't need a strain. As long as you top up, you link it with your credit card or debit card, but you can top up quickly as well if you wanted to. What you can do then is you can just tap to go wherever you are. So if you're on the train station, you can tap to go. And then you can use this for coffee as well. You can use it for restaurants. You can use it to go where you want to go. I think it's a much more flexible way of making payments in public transport. I talked about scheming. So scheming is where people come close to your phone. You can do it with your phone. You can come close to your phone and actually take money off you while you're standing there. You don't realize it. You do that on Apple Watches as well. They come near you and take your money as well. If your battery survives the course of the day, there's a risk there as well. And with this, you can't do that, right? So for that to work, they have to come this way to tap you. Yeah. And for them to do that, number one, you have to be walking around like this. But that's not possible. And number two as well, if someone steals the ring, then you can block it on your phone. Yeah, so in truth, I think this should be your primary medium. You should walk out and go out into the public. This way you can hang out with people, go for runs. Have people use this for sports, for basketball, for running, for swimming, and it's waterproof as well. So I don't want to oversell it. Go to orukka.com and order one. But the way I see it, right, is if you're taking public transport in Houston, you want to go for first cash where possible, or the risk associated with cash, and go with your Metro Q. Metro queue again is quite limited, especially if you're in the town for a day or two. There's really no need buying a whole queue and making sure you have enough money and you try and refund it where you can. That's a pain. You can go with your bank card. If your bank card runs out, which is most likely the case because of your wallet or something, or you're worried about risk or losing it in the city, then go with your phone or your Apple Watch or your Apple Pay. Recommend that, again, as long as your battery can last all day and you remember to charge it every night. I wouldn't recommend it if you're like me, where you use your phone all day, or you go into the office and you use your phone and you get text messages by evenings, 5-10%. Okay. It's not worth living your life on the phone. I don't recommend it as well. Such that I would recommend this as the most. If you can, if you want to go for the best, I would go for that. Ring, car ring. Okay. So have a good one. I'm going to go with that. I'll stop there for now. Have a nice evening. For those in Houston, enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, and remember you live in a great city. Okay, do your best to support the city as much as possible. Take care. Bye.